What do you do with the Bitcoin besides it just gather value?
Real estate developers in New York City, they're not buying the real estate because they want to live in it.
But like most of the people who are buying assets at some point want to sell the assets at a profit.
People that use fiat currency as a store of value, we call them poor. We call them poor. People that use fiat currency, we call them poor. We call them poor. We call them poor. We call them poor. There's a name for them. We call them poor. We call them poor. Okay? Right? Like, the point is, if you have the superior asset, it's going up forever more. Forever.
Right, I mean, right, but I mean, we can all look Bitcoin sort of as
forevermore. People that use fiat currency as a store of value, we call them poor. We call them poor. People that use fiat currency, we call them poor. We call them poor. We call them poor. We call them poor. There's a name for them. We call them poor. 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 Okay.
Okay.
What do you do with the Bitcoin?
What is going on? Hold on here. I had a little. Just take that down. Yes, man. What is going on? My name is Gerald Peters. Welcome to the Peters Report, man, where we're trying to stay one step ahead of the market. And listen, I believe that anybody, regardless of age, race, sex, or even your current financial situation, can get rich, or at least financially free in the next 7 to 10 years, man. Jess, what is going on?
Nothing much. I was just looking at my trades. I just got into Reddit and added to Bohr.
Did you now?
Yeah.
They put this onto the thing. It's always hard to you go live and then you only have so long to do things. And I need to get people in the background that help me do this. I know you're doing it, but did you put it in Discord?
The link? Yeah, I just put it, but I deleted it because Sonia put it in already.
Okay, she's always on that.
Yeah.
Need to put her butt to work on some things.
Yeah, she's a neuroscientist, so she's smart.
A neuroscientist, really?
Really?
That's what I should have done. Let's see. Like you can just do that. Let's see. Right here, looking at what is in the video. I've been day trading it. I had a big mistake. I
held shares over.
Yeah, I'll share it since I, you got to share. You messed up. Totally forgot that I went into the close. I had them, and I go, oh, I'll close them in a few minutes because it looks like they're going to keep going up. And then I forgot all about it. I went about my day, talking to people, doing what I do. And then, because I don't know if you know this, I do other things besides trade all day. And then this morning I got up late, still not even thinking about it. And then I'm down $600 and something.
Yeah, you're going to like leave a Post-it note or set an alarm. Or leave a Post-it note where you're going to see it.
So that's fun to have that happen. Let Let me pull up. We got any people here? Let's see if we got some. Let's go. What's up? Ethan, Mr. Banks. We got Ethan here. Let's see.
What's up, Ethan?
I don't have that goddamn link. You know what? Let me play this guy while I'm doing this here.
This is a mock monthly household budget for an American family in 1985. If we compare that to a hypothetical budget in 2022, we can see that most expenses scaled with inflation, with a few exceptions. Rent, out-of-pocket healthcare costs, and childcare are notably more expensive in 2022, even when accounting for inflation. And costs associated with retirement increased by more than 60%. But these numbers are not accounting for a big X factor, consumer debt, such as credit cards and student loans. Total outstanding consumer credit was nearly $600 billion in December 1985. By 2022, it was nearly $4.9 trillion.
Debt has been rising over time. Student loans weren't really a thing for baby boomers.
Millennials have larger student loan balances, bigger mortgages, much bigger car payments than their parents did a generation ago. In addition to more expensive childcare costs, higher prices pretty much across the board. So that does.
Man, that doesn't sound good, does it?
No, but you also can't compare time now to 30 years ago, or everything is going to sound expensive and easier back then. Like it's incomparable in a way.
I think every generation does this though, where they act like theirs is nobody suffered like them, you know?
Well, I just think because of maybe the 2008 housing crisis that added like stigma to the house, to buying a house. Like, oh, it's so hard to buy a house now. I don't know. But yeah, it is hard to buy a house right now if you don't have more than one income.
Right, which is
it's hard to even get approved.
Stream. Which if you click the QR code, if you're not on the second income stream like Lena's not, you're really doing yourself a disservice. Love your videos. Do you have a second income stream strategy that doesn't use? Why wouldn't you use CLM and CRF and just let it pay you normally, since those are the only two closed-end funds that really do the drip at the NAV? We still use them because they're still the best funds out there.
Yeah.
So you'd still use them, my friend. Even in Canada, I would still use them. You're going to ultimately have, what, 10 or 15 tier 1s eventually?
Yeah.
And so will you just pick them up as they go on sale?
Right, like EIC is on sale right now.
Well, what if you don't like them to go down because you already own them?
Buy more when it goes down?
Man, people crack me up. You want them to go down when you do. I get it. If you're over leveraged or over margin, it can be a problem, but you do not have enough shares that you want it to just start going up, and up. I mean, that's just a given, right?
Right.
But I think this kind of makes the case for
make it more difficult to set extra money aside or make any long-term plans.
We're living in two separate economies. The American dream that was pitched to the Gen Xers and the Boomers is no longer present in today's world.
A lot of people, particularly the working class.
Now, I say this, and you don't have to die broke. I talk about that. The baby boomer generation was the last generation with all of this pension stuff and all that.
With tension?
Pensions.
Pension, yeah.
Get like a job. There's not going to be a lot of those. You know, maybe some civil workers, but there's just not going to be a lot of those type of things going forward.
No, I agree.
If you look on this, okay, Dylan said, second income stream just paid for my daughter's summer camp. Freaking $1,800 for a month and a half of camp. Man, that's something you can do. I know the way I've been using mine is I just let the dividends go to cash. I look for new shit on sale, and if I need money and I can't get it from my regular budget, I will use it, you know, but my account size is larger. But I'm trying to get it to about $250,000, and then I'll have $250,000 borrowed. That 500,000 will produce a lot. Probably, what, 30,000 a month or so.
Yeah.
That blows people's minds. You think that'd make everyone want to do it, but it really doesn't. Or they want to do it, and you've experienced this already, I'm sure. They like the idea. Can we kind of skip all that education shit, stock market shit, and just go right to the shit where I collect money shit and do nothing?
Yeah, but then they're not like mentally prepared for what to do when the market goes down. They're freaking out.
Oh, eBanks, get on it, baby.
Oh, he's supposed to pay for her 3-month trial.
Right.
Oh, damn. She's on it.
Man. Have to walk the fade, man. Walk the fade.
Damn.
Man. I heard you were trying to order your MFG necklace.
Yeah, I was with Jordan the jeweler.
Right. Nice.
I'm trying to figure out if I'm getting the same size as you, a middle size, or a smaller.
I go one size down. I think the small one would be too small.
Yeah, the small one looks too small.
It's because you're trying to stand out a little bit when you wear it.
Definitely. I like the bigger one. What's up, Sam?
Obnoxious. We want it to be a little obnoxious if you can. But I've been doing my rank from the Army on my hats. You see it?
Mm-hmm.
I need to establish some rank inside the MFG so we can wear it on our hats. Who else we got here? Steven. Talk with Steven a lot. Okay, thanks. Finance. Yeah, stay with Cornerstone. We still like them. Even if you're Canadian.
Yeah, I'm back in the green now in Cornerstone.
Yeah, right. There were some people didn't want to do closed-end funds because they went down that time. But all that did was set us up to get a better position.
Right. So now I have 2,500 shares and I'm in the green.
Damn. These are basic money flow trades that we're looking at right here. I'm day trading NVIDIA. So we had an anchor point, starts to run, starts to break, doesn't, comes back down, but it holds this one. And then boom, we run. And so these are the runs that I'm trying to make my money on and then not give up too much money on these pullbacks here.
Right.
Now I've played both sides today.
But I thought you weren't supposed to do that.
You're not, but I'm down $650 fucking at the open, so I gotta get the money back.
So where are you at now?
I don't even want to look, man. I'm just trading the best I can.
Yeah, you might be even more red since you're doing the back and forth thing.
From Armenia. Right.
Is that someone else? That's someone other than Jordan's gonna make it?
From Armenia, the country.
Oh, she's getting a different MFG necklace.
Right. Well, she has connections in the Middle East.
But it's gonna match ours?
I guess. Imagine. Maybe she'll create her own. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
SBET. SBET. Anybody know what that is? Oh, that's the motherland, Armenia. Man.
That's cool.
You know what they say about Armenians. Let's see. GP's, I just made that. GP's trade loss today was probably 1/4 of what he is bringing in today in dividends. Yeah. So I'm bringing in 2,800 tonight in dividends. It should be. Although technically the CLM, CRF won't post until next week. Into next week is usually what happens, right?
Yeah, because they drip at the NAV.
They drip at the NAV. But so yeah, this week was a big week for me. $3,700. Next week's a pretty good sized week too, in dividends. That is.
Wow, 3,700.
That's not bad, right?
This week for me was 1,800.
Hey, passive income.
Yeah.
in the markets, trading, accumulating assets. Doesn't get any goddamn better than that.
CBET as the MicroStrategy of ETH.
Is it?
Have you even heard? Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of and you know that of ETH. So I don't own Ethereum. I don't talk about Ethereum. I think it's kind of
actually awful, and it's only awful because of the gas fees.
Swap doesn't drop the NAV. I don't know.
You have to call them and like speak to someone who knows what they're doing on the phone, because a lot of them say no, but if you keep calling back, some people in the Discord do have their stuff dripping at the NAV.
But you'd have to work and put effort in.
Yeah.
Man, guess I can't do it. The went from $4 to $120 this week. Very volatile. Caught some at $78 and sold some at $120. What is he? Oh, Mothra. That's great. Very nice. What is the ticker symbol you talking about?
SBET.
Let's see. This is Sharplink Gaming Company. This is a penny stock.
Jesus.
What are you talking about, bro? It's a penny stock. I don't know what that has to do with ETH. Oh, I guess because they're loaded up on ETH. They're trying to be like micro,
yeah.
Taylor says, are you using any higher time frames for Confluence today on NVIDIA to help decide on the 1 minute? Yes, sir. I use the 5 minute chart. I'm watching the histogram on the 5 minute chart for my direction. So I actually have another chart over here that does that for me. And then I tend to just blow it up right there on the histogram. You can also use another phone. That's another good strategy. A lot of people turn their phones in. If you're a trader, people, let's see. I use them for trading. Let's see. And being live, and you can still use your phone. Let's see. And you just look cool when you go in, you got multiple phones. Like you're doing some shit, man.
Yeah.
You're like, man, that guy must be really into something. Hold on.
Either open or close, or they. So this is how I stopped having to work in my Subway franchise. So if you remember me, my name is Tommy Wright, and I bought a Subway franchise at 22 years old. It's been about a year and a half now, and back then, if you're an OG viewer, you know that I was working like a maniac. I told myself for the first 6 months, I knew that I would be working, and I knew that I'd be working an obscene amount of hours. So I was working like 13-hour, 14-hour days, and this was 7 days a week. I didn't get any time off. I didn't get any breaks off, and that's to be expected, you know, especially in the situation I was coming in. The store that I bought only had like 1.5 employees, and the families are the ones that really worked in there. So,
man, at 22 years old, he worked every day for a year.
Wow.
Sounds horrible. In his own store. Jeez, what a horrendous.
I knew I would kind of be the majority of the workload, and I kind of knew what I was expecting, you know, coming into this thing. But after the 6 months, I told myself there's no way in hell I was going to be working that much. There's no way. So when you walk into a lot of these Subway stores, you see the families working in there. Usually, you know, they're Indian, whatever. And the families are working there, you know, from either open to close, or they break up the shifts, but it's still within the family. Because the margins are so thin in Subway, it's kind of hard to hire out and still be profitable, especially if this is the only thing that you're living off of. So I get it. But for me personally, for my time and my energy, it's just Subway's not the leverage that I'm.
Right. Notice what he said there, the leverage.
Yeah, you can't leverage yourself for scale.
Yep, that's what he's saying. So it just hit my target. This 135 zone was my target on NVIDIA. So I just sold half of my position into this little zone here. And we'll mark the zone. This was my target zone. If we break through, so we probably need to check a higher time frame here.
The 5 minute.
Yeah.
See what the histogram is in.
Instagram is still pointing to the upside. And then the next price up looks like it's in the 135.50 range, so about 48 cents higher. And everything still looks fine. So for time continuity, we talk about is the trade working across different time frames. Well, we know on the daily chart it's in an uptrend. We know the overall market's in an uptrend. Link to the second income stream, boom, right there. And click that damn QR code with your phone. It'll also take you right to it. And Jess has posted it in there, and we'll highlight it.
Dylan's asking where you can order a necklace. Jordan, the jeweler, on Discord.
Yeah, so if you're in the MFG Discord, which everyone should be, imagine if you just look at charts and get paid for it. Oh wait, there is the system.
Yeah, I'm currently in the process of doing mine.
Jordan the jeweler in Discord makes the custom MFG necklace. Very
Yeah,
cool.
I'll get his name here.
So my man asked about the higher time frames. Yeah, I'm looking at the 5 minute, really looking at the histogram. Once it goes my way, I then kind of look at price in relation to the moving averages like I normally would. And sometimes on that 1 minute chart, you won't see any levels. You know, you really don't need levels if you got the RSI, but the levels are, to me, are important because price just tends to stop at them. I closed the trade out. Oh,
Jordan said he's working on my necklace.
good man. Hurry the fuck up.
Yeah, seriously.
We called you yesterday. Let's go.
I messaged him over the weekend.
Right, we should be done
Now
by
it's right. We should be done by now, but I don't know him, so.
Yeah, so Jordan Stevens says just hit $650 a month in dividends. You don't often hear day traders clapping for dividends, but the cool thing is we collect these dividends inside of our day trading account. Man, can't get much better than that. Let's see. Man, Mike Lance said Clove has hit support. I ain't looked at that stock in forever. Sonia says, congrats. I'm back in the trade, by the way. That's how fast it's moving. I'm trading bar by bar. That's why I got out a second ago. You may ask why. Because it dipped below the previous. Yeah. So now I'll be quick to get right back out, right?
Right.
Right. Let's check CNBC here real quick. If anybody's concerned, I'm at $1,050,234.60. So I am back above $1 million in the stock market. You were worried. I mean, most people, I think, worried. Once I went over the million, if it dropped, it came down quite a bit in the Trump little tariff thing.
Yeah, it did. You were down like 400 grand, right?
Yeah, it was a chunk of money, man. That's people aren't, you're not usually looking for it to drop that much. Trump could reset after tariffs ruling. Hold on. Musk exit. Did you know Elon Musk appears to be exiting?
Tesla?
No, exiting the government.
Oh, okay. About time.
Right. We'll keep an eye on this here. And I think he's going to have to get back to doing the car business. Why that's a good thing for stocks. Never let a good crisis go to waste. A court ruling on tariffs and the departure of Elon Musk from the White House represent an opportunity for both Trump administration and the markets. The key pillars for President Trump's term so far are now under threat. The majority of his tariffs are at risk. The Court of International Trade Wednesday ruling that they exceed presidential authority. Damn. So the market kind of liked that. I don't know if you saw this. They're calling it the taco trade. Have you heard that?
Taco trade? No.
Yeah, Trump always caves or whatever. Chickens out. Trump always chickens out. That's what it stands for.
That's hilarious.
TCO. He's even responded to it by saying that he doesn't chicken out. So, whatever. Although they remain in place pending appeal, and Musk leaves without much to show for his goal of cutting $2 trillion from government spending. So he got there and realized it didn't work as easy as he thought it would. There's a chance that the next phase of the Trump administration is less volatile, which would be positive for the markets after months of uncertainty. Man. Yeah, so here it is. The taco trade stands for Trump is always chickening out. Trump described the chickening accusation as nasty.
That's hilarious. Trump is always chickening.
Nasty. Yeah, it's nasty, man. Why are you guys so nasty? Yeah, that is funny, right?
Yeah.
But he now has an opportunity to shed the reputation for good, for more strategic approach, man. So I don't know. We'll see. I know he didn't care much for their name calling. It's funny to hear him say that, right? Jesus.
Yeah. Wow, Ethan's in the green in Cornerstone too. Yeah, we were just down like 10, 11% or 9%. Now I'm back in the green in Cornerstone.
I was down like 21,000 in those two. Some shit.
What'd you say?
At one point, I think I was down like 20-something thousand in Cornerstone.
Yeah.
It was quite a bit. Yeah, and we saw Tesla announce that they're going to be having robo-taxis here in Texas. Tesla cars with no people in them. And
Wow.
I think there's going to be someone in there for the first group, but I would personally love to ride around in a driverless car and a driverless Uber car.
Yeah, I guess it's just like, it's only, like, imagine like when you're in an Uber and you're like, I guess you might not go through this, but like sometimes the Uber drivers drive really fucking slow and shit. And it's
Right.
like the autonomous car, I feel like if you got to go somewhere, that is not the thing to take because that thing's going to drive the speed limit in perfect.
Yes, no, if you're looking to break the law, that may not be the car. Also, but think about this. Think how much work you could get done if you don't have to drive.
Oh, I agree.
You could have fun in there, play around in the back seat, all kinds
Yeah,
of things.
my wife drives and I bring my iPad in the car.
Right. You could take a nap in the back,
No,
get
I
naked.
can't.
No?
No, I don't like sleeping in the car.
No.
So I don't really care to be in the car.
I could do pilot-free planes. That's what Joby and them are working on. You know, we have a stock.
Yeah.
But, I don't know if you've seen. Have you seen these fucking Joby planes?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Dude,
big-
how did we miss this? This was on our Joby was on the watch list this week.
Yeah, I have a few shares, but I didn't add. It jumped right there is when we should have caught it though. That was last
Yeah.
week.
No, on fucking Monday.
Was it Monday?
Tuesday we could have got in. Wednesday it popped. Thursday, now we are here Friday.
I know whenever I do something like this, it's because some bullshit in my life was going on and I wasn't paying close enough.
Yeah, like I had Joby on the watch list. That's a shame.
Yeah, no, I can't wait till we get rid of people when we do these. All right, let me check the news here. The AI trade is only just beginning, according to CNBC Pro.
Obviously, like
We got-
nothing's even happened yet. I think.
It calls out Trump for abuse of semiconductor export controls. Trump has been very hands-on. I think everybody's happy to hear that Bohr's down.
I just added.
Right. I get a lot of questions about that one.
That one's just going to take time. So just keep drip adding.
Right. People ask me why this go down, and it's because people sold it. I mean, your question is why are people selling it?
Yeah.
That's a better question. Income investing, Morningstar named this dividend fund is one of the best. Let's see what this fund is. Morningstar named this dividend fund, which we like Morningstar, right?
Right.
Sees opportunity right now. Manager. Capital Group Dividend Value ETF. Ugh. Why do I think this thing just follows the market? More in the pro. Tom Lee, I posted this guy in Discord the other day. I like Tom. Tom's always bullish. That's why I like him, I think. Tom Lee says, the April sell-off has rebirth. Liberation. Isn't that Trump? Didn't Trump liberate us? We are free.
Yeah, and then if they lower the rates, then small caps will go like the IWMY or IWM.
And what's the triple leverage to the small caps?
URTY.
Man, come on. How many people I asked that? They don't know.
And then isn't there like the IWC? And then is there a leverage for that?
Is micro cap.
Is there a leverage for that?
Probably not.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
A good practice when you're doing your homework on your board, say when you're doing your win, so you say gold, you think GLD. Well, what's the leverage? UGL. What's the income play? The GL whatever, right?
Yeah.
So I do that for everything. Anytime I see a setup, it's like, okay, how do I do this in my buy and hold? How do I swing trade this? And is there now a second income stream play on this as well? We want to play all angles if possible. Let's see. So we rebirth a new bull market. Tom Lee says investors are in a new bull market following April lows and prefer small caps in the second half of the year as buyers start to look past tariffs. So small caps, we said, would be
IWM.
IWM. Let's see. Yeah, it's still underneath the 200, man.
Right. So that's why I've been like slowly drip adding to like RDTE. Even though it's like a stage 3, it's the only index below the 200.
Right. So the RDTE is the Roundhill ETF Trust. And the reason we like this is the margin is only 30% maintenance, right?
Yeah, 35.
35% maintenance. The QQY is 30% maintenance. These other ones out by Defiance are actually 100% maintenance. So you gotta check that. You gotta check the maintenance on them. If you're doing what we're doing, where we're using, we need that margin maintenance, because I'd rather just go buy CLM than buy a yield max paying 60% if I can get it
right
on margin.
Someone wrote Toyota is buying Joby. But then they wrote Toyota is buying them or something.
Which one you like better? This RDT or IWMY? Or we don't really know yet.
No. I used to like IWMY a lot, but then I started focusing on this one since the margin was less.
Yeah. That's a hard one. The margin is less. I don't know what the annual yield is yet on RDT. But remember, you're buying it on margin, so that part's important. Comparing, because sometimes buying the non-leverage is the way to go, because you can use your margin to make it a leverage fund. You know?
Yeah.
So you just don't pay interest on the other ones.
Oh, look. One Nation said TNA. I forgot about that one. That is like a leverage small cap.
Yeah. I think that's by ProShares, right? There's
think
different
so.
companies. There's Direxion and ProShares are the big players in that leveraged stuff. I trade it. So I still like this. I like the RDT. Matter of fact, I'm gonna buy some of that right now in my this account here. I only have 200 shares of that, of the RDT.
Let me see how many I have. I have 113.
Yeah, and I'm not quite sure what the yield is on it. They don't. It's hard. It's confusing on the weeklies, you know.
Yeah. How many shares did you buy?
I just bought 5. It's kind of expensive.
Yeah. But the margin, remember, is 35.
Right. So
And then we
yeah,
also get paid.
that's true. I forgot about that. And then we get paid tonight. So
Yeah, I still like made a drip ad because it is a stage 3, and not that it could go to a new stage 1, but it is a stage 3. But it looks good. It looks like a good stage 3. Tested the 20 and still above it.
right. Got knocked out of the trade here. I'm trying to day trade at the same time. So yeah, I don't know what it is on RDT. I need to go through and look on those and see what it says. Seeking Alpha has a pretty good. I think next week I may try to day trade this Reddit a little bit. And you're in that trade. You picked up shares, right?
Yeah, I just got in right now on the breakout.
And you're looking at the daily chart.
Yeah.
All right. So there's the breakout on the daily. So if I'm playing this game as a day trader, I'm looking to trade this probably to the upside. And I would map this out upside up into about $129. So that gives us a $19 window right in here. Play with, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So using time continuity, let's drop down to a 30-minute chart, see what that looks like. Okay, go to a 5-minute chart. I like the 5-minute. I don't like it when they pop a lot, but yeah, this is a mover, man.
Yeah, look, it went from 107 to 110.
Like nothing. That was in the last little band there. Man.
Yeah, this morning it popped from 105 to ran to 113.
Man says, once you join Income Stream, does it make you a member of the community? No, not really.
On Substack, yeah, not the Discord.
Yeah, not in our Discord where we're doing a lot of trading and stuff. The
Substack does have a community within each one, but it's not the Discord.
Right, we have a chat community.
They still have the community still pretty, like the second Income Stream community is pretty popping on the Substack. Like I think even that community, that chat has a lot of value in it.
I think so. There's a lot of people talking in there. A lot of times before I can even answer a question or you can, somebody else has already answered it.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's like a really good community, and there's people there that when they answer the questions, they answer them right, and they answer fast, and it's just motivating.
Right. So this is the main page for the second Income Stream. I was going to drop some podcasts here. I was playing with uploading them from right there. I played with that a little last night. And you can go back, and I'd go back, and people ask me, what do I do now? And I'm like, fucking read? Like,
yeah, or like, what do you buy today? The same shit you bought yesterday.
Right. So slowly get your charts together. some of the tickers you see us talking about, put them in folders, find the ones that are, you know, and you start, I would go get a whiteboard or paper and I'd write out my tier 1s, 2s, and 3s, right? And just start to do what we're doing.
Yeah, or like I have it all memorized. I don't need to write it down. I don't need lists.
Trade style says, is there a rule, leave 30 to 50% in your margin balance? Yeah, we do a ratio of available withdrawal to your available withdrawal to your balance. So if you keep about a 30%, which I never seem to do.
Me neither.
If you go under 30% of available withdrawal, that you could go to an ATM machine with the debit card, available withdrawal, not total you can use. But if you keep that at about 30% of your balance, you'll be okay. If you go more than that, you just need to know the risk you're taking. And a lot of that sometimes for me is with trades and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Because we'll do trades inside of there to offset erosion and to offset right, just make money too, offset interest.
Yeah, if the erosion even bothers you.
Yeah, I don't know. It bothers
We
some.
don't even talk about it.
Yeah, to me, it's just part of business. I was trying to, if you click chat here, that's where I forgot it's going to do this, but you can get on the chat if you're in there. And I would come in, I would probably do the full year just because then you get the webinar and all that shit we did.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought I had it out. I had the webinar out a few minutes ago. Oh, here it is. I hadn't looked at it in a minute. There you go. Remember that day we were studying at the duck pond?
Yeah.
That was a nice day. Yeah, so here it is. I think I like this. If you do the annual, you get this with it.
Yeah.
Break down the concept. Got a couple of whiteboards in here, and some other useful shit, and links back to the thing. Yeah, nice little add on there. Let's see. No idea what that's about. 5 trader agreements. Let's see. I have an article, if anybody makes it through there. I have an article inside of the...
It was a really good article.
I thought so. I think I have this newsletter. I almost hate to update it. There's a lot of good shit in it. This video here, I break down. This is a video on breaking down the. I think I put it inside the chat too. It's breaking down one of the first ones I did for breaking down the tier system and shit. So if anybody hasn't watched it.
Yeah, that was from like a year ago now.
Right, it's before we were even really doing it.
Yeah, I remember when you made that and I still had no margin yet.
Yeah. And we kind of break it all down there. So that's one of my first ones. If there's some little deviations, that's a pretty big buy, bro. I mean, make sure that's proportionate to the other. That's my only concern with a lot of this stuff is a lot of people they're not portfolio building, you know?
Yeah.
The way the second income stream works and survives is that you're spreading the money out over our tier system based on the 3 tiers and the percentages. And if you don't do that, I think you're running a real risk. I'm in Unity, you know?
Yeah, I'm in it.
Yeah. I mean, your price point's going to keep coming down and coming down and coming down due to erosion, but your dividends are going to offset that. What a lot of people don't understand is one reason I was kind of comparing it to the subway thing that we had going. It's because like this guy will tell you, you got to put money back into the subway, right?
Yeah.
The carpet's getting messed up. You got to get new utensils. You got to, you know, everything you would have in a store. Same with a house. A house is depreciating. It's falling apart. Well, these accounts are NAV eroding. It's because it's a business and money's coming out. So if even in the future, if you're going to just pull money out, you got to put a certain amount of your dividends right back in. Otherwise, it's not going to work.
Yeah, so like the other day, like even like every time we get the Misty dividend, even if and MicroStrategy or Misty is on a stage 3, I still reinvest like 2 shares manually.
Right.
Just so next time I will have more shares, and then if it goes on a stage 1, then add the full chunk.
And I think the creator said anywhere from 20 to 50% of your dividend you probably want to put back in. And then it might come a point where you don't need to do that. And that confuses people. I think if you sit and think on it, it'll make sense. You're putting money back into the business.
Use to dedicate all my time. I was like, okay, after 6 months, got to get out of here. So here are some of the things that I did or I implemented to take myself out of the business so that I can focus on things that I have higher leverage in that will make me more money. Okay, so the first thing I did was I got sales up in my store. And of course, this is a given, but at the current state of the store, when I bought it, there was no way in hell that I was going to be able to hire out and not be there. So the first thing that, I gave my task of was I need to get these sales up. So how did I get my sales up?
In other words, you need to increase revenue, right?
Right.
Right. So we got to get our sales up too. We got to buy more shares. And it's very similar to running a franchise or a business, except you don't have to do payroll. You don't have to come in if someone calls in late. You're going to have, it's a business. So the second income stream, look at it as a business. Same with trading. Trading's a business. It's not your 401k. It's not a Roth. It's none of that.
Yeah. Like, this is money for right now.
I like Tim's analogy. I say it all the time. Owning Yield Max is like owning a trailer in a trailer park.
I hate that though.
I know you hate trailers, but
I hate trailer park and Walmart comparisons. I want to be fucking Gucci and
right, but Yield Max is
not trailer park or Walmart. So
yeah.
sorry. I'm too bougie for that.
You'll be Gucci, baby.
Yeah.
But me and Tim were raised poor. You weren't. Let's see.
Either way, like I wasn't raised rich. We were raised like fucking scarcity ass poor people.
Don't quite get what he's asking there.
No, do you just keep reinvesting your stuff in M1?
Yeah, I know understand your question. I use M1 and I use E-Trade. E-Trade, if you're a professional or trying to be a professional trader investor, I think probably is a better option. They handle margin different. So that's really what it comes down to is how you want to handle your margin. E-Trade is always margin, always on. M1, you can actually pay your margin off. There's no way to do that in E-Trade.
Right. And you can take the money out as a loan against yourself.
Right. And so I think for new people or people who don't know much about the market, M1's not a bad idea. Not a bad idea.
Not at all.
Dylan said he didn't know you were such a bougie Betty. Or what?
You don't know me then.
Right. No, she's very bougie.
I hate fucking Walmart. Ew.
Expensive things.
Nice things.
Nice things.
High quality things.
High quality. Which is, we talk about that and you don't have to die broke, right?
Yeah. I mean, once you go Uber Black, you never go back. I even got Kat on Uber Black only.
Right.
She's even doing it now because she sees that the service is way better.
The service is better. You're going to get to where you're going and you feel better when you get there. Now, vibrational feeling is everything. Your vibrational push, not to get off on that, but I used to talk a lot. I need to talk more about it. That's kind of what the podcasts are about, the science of getting rich. If you've been over there, I've been doing a series of shorter podcasts and kind of around this. I told you I was working on a little eBook.
Mm-hmm.
It would be a free one. It's not one I'm going to charge for. But it's just this idea that, let's see, right here, man, that the old money game is gone. The idea, we're not going to retire like we did back in the day, man. We've got to create multiple forms of income. Originally, I did that with real estate. I own 17 properties. Today, I would focus 100% on using margin and using income.
No real estate?
I would have my personal home, but no, I don't think I would. At first, I would load up on that, and then that would increase my income, making it easier for me to get loans. And then if the real estate appeared and if it worked out, I would do it. Some people's area, the numbers don't work. Numbers don't work in most areas right now.
So you are agreeing it's hard to buy real estate right now. It's not just hard because the generation before us said it's hard.
Right. It's hard. I mean, it's not impossible.
It's not.
No. But I mean, you actually have to leave the house and walk around and send letters and walk properties and knock doors and meet realtors. If you try to do it from your home, you're going to have a hard time. In today's world, in today's game, because it's so competitive right now, there's not many deals. So you're going to have to move fast. But when there's not many deals, that's when you get everything else going, right? That's why we do stocks. That's why we do growth stocks and REITs and closed-end funds and different strategies, because certain things are going to work at certain times, man. And there you go. You want to be on board when it's time. And
exactly.
You could be collecting income, makes your taxes better. You could be learning about real estate. So you could, be doing all the things you need to do. This guy said first 18 months he worked 7 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
That
sounds about right.
That's what I would do on the SIS. I would just study it every day. I would learn all about closed-end funds, how they're taxed, MLPs and REITs. I'd learn about I would just spend lots of time on it every day.
Yeah, we have a couple articles on the difference of all those type of things.
Right. I would dig into our articles. MFG board game. I have played with that. I've got someone that I'm working on some children's books with, an idea for some children's books. They're going to do the illustration for me.
That's cool.
Yeah. And we're going to do some money flow, make little cartoon characters for the money flow gang.
Mm-hmm.
So the money flow gang are going to have like little jobs and shit after school. And they're like little hustles, saving their money and invest in it and shit. And they're going to own their clubhouse.
They charge other people rent.
Right. That's what I've been thinking. I'm trying to think this through. Will parents buy books that talk about a gang? I don't know.
Well, for the kids, you might have to leave the gang out. You could call it the Money Flow Trading Society.
Man, I just like I want to have little characters. Like I was going to make mine like super ripped. And then I'm gonna put some pounds on Ethan. He needs to be the little fat guy. I got something for you too. You're gonna like it.
Oh my God.
These little drawings. No, the first one they did of me, I was like really pudgy. I'm like, why the fuck am I fat?
Yeah, you're definitely not.
Right, but the character looked funny, but I just think trying to think in my head who to base but right now it's like 5 or 6 kids the first one is they're in their clubhouse, but I don't know. I may have to think it through. Which obviously got to think it through. Is there a percentage on tier 1, like how we have 1 to 3% on tier 3? I don't think so. Just as you add more, you want to make them smaller. If you have a big concentration in, I had 50% of my account in CLM and CRF. So when the price came down in the correction and we had the rights offering, that hit me pretty hard.
Yeah, me too. Plus ECC got smashed as well.
Right, and those were our biggest positions. If they would have been smaller, it would have been hit smaller. So you just got to know that. But if people are coming in new, I have them put CLM, CRF, that's it. That's tier 1. IWM, QQQY, tier 2. Boom, that's done. And then whichever 2 yield max or stage 1. Boom, we're done. You got 6 funds. There you go. You started your second. And now just keep adding money and keep waiting for the setups. And then you can add new positions as they come available. Pretty goddamn simple, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Man, the video just took off, dude.
Damn, you in?
Yeah. Just shot up and then came back down, and now it shot up again. Remember I said we were running to 3250. We've hit that target. We got that from the 5-minute chart, by the way. Oh, 135.61. Man, I made back a few $100 of my down 650.
Yeah, or you could just transfer $600 and it's like nothing happened.
Oh, I'm sorry, that wasn't there. There we go.
Bam. That's why I like trading the video. Like out of nowhere, you'll just get these huge bars, and like if you're in, you catch these like random pops.
Hey, you know, the other day I had one. I'm laying on the floor. I'm kind of going in and out, trying to trade, but I'm like in and out of sleep. And I looked up and it had jacked like way up. And I'm looking at my thing and it said I was up like $312 on that gap. And it's taking me a second. And I'm like screaming at myself. And I'm thinking, Perfect, just hit sell, man.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did you just hit sell and go back to sleep?
Yeah, you know, and I always keep a hotkey with half, and I just immediately hit that sell half.
Okay.
Now look, it's come all the way back down. Look at that shit.
Yep, that's how fast it is.
Yeah.
That's why I like it.
Look at this. It has turned all the way around. Man. That sucks, huh?
Someone wrote, just caught the NVIDIA pop while at happy hour. Got one phone on stock charts, the other on E-Trade. Thank you, Money Flow Gang.
Woo, woo.
Happy hour.
So I'm saying happy hour. Motherfuckers, ain't even 3 o'clock yet. Market ain't closed.
Well, it's almost 4 here, but still.
Man. A lot of drinkers, man. Over the Wealth Squad, they're all smokers. Well, that's about all I got today. I mean, I thought this was Snoop Dogg. Just caught that NVIDIA pop. Nice, bro. What's up, David? Congratulations. I'm in that Dollar General stock and I'm in the Walmart. But I don't go there. I don't like going to either one of them, to be honest. But I've made good money in both stocks, so. Man, you got anything else, Jess?
Someone wrote, is there a percentage on tier 1 like we have 1 to 3% on tier 3?
Yeah, I talked about that a little.
I mean, our cornerstone positions are like 20% each.
Right. You know, but you know how we try to keep yield max to like 1 to 3%?
Yeah. He was saying, is there a percent for tier 1?
Not really.
No.
I think you just should spread it out. I think you should start with the cornerstone, and then as you add new positions, just spread it out. And the dividends will spread it out naturally for you. Hey, Michael, you should jump in the second income stream with us.
Seriously.
Man. Stop being cheap.
Like I posted a link to it.
Yep. And then, let's see.
I gave him a couple examples.
Yeah. Let's see. It's getting hard to make a living these days.
How do I join? Okay, I'll put the link for the.
But in here, take your time with these articles. We got an article over here, list 22 weekly income fund. Just remember, not all of those. Hold on.
Or 100%, or some of them are 100% margin, but if they have them in other accounts.
Right. Just keep that in mind. on the tiers. I'm shorting the video and we are dropping.
Oh, so you're doing the long short thing?
Oh yeah, I'm playing both sides today because I'm aggressive. I want my goddamn money.
You're being that crackhead?
I'm being that crackhead. Give me my goddamn money. Oh shit, dude. It is flying.
To the downside?
No, now we're back to the upside again.
That's why I like it. It's so fast.
What in the fuck? Oh, back on the long side. I don't know how much of that I got to keep over there, but thing is flying. There's a link, join Substack. Should see it in the notes there.
Yeah, I'm gonna find the article that talks about like what an MLP is and all that and post it.
You can always come back and check here. You can always text me too. And if you're looking for a place to trade, get with us on our Discord, join the Money Flow gang. You do need to own a copy of my book, The Money Flow Trading System, because we kind of trade on that strategy. If you don't, you won't probably enjoy our group. That's about it, huh? We do a little bit of everything in there. We got 5 different strategies, and I think we got something for everybody. What do you think?
Yeah, I think we covered everything. Someone just mentioned Apple in the chat.
Yeah, we're still in that trade. I don't think Apple's moved against us, has it? I haven't checked today. Let me see. We're in the AAPU, which is the 2 times Apple. There it goes. It's moving. We could probably add to that today.
Yeah, you could. It's back above the 5.
Yeah. Could definitely add to it.
Yeah, added to Reddit and Bohr. Someone's asking about Uber. That's a stage 4.
Right. I'm going to take this out. We're almost at an hour.
Besides it
Okay.
just gather value.
Real estate developers in New York City, they're not buying the real estate because they want to live in it.
But like most of the people who are buying assets at some point want to sell the assets at a profit.
People that use fiat currency as a store of value, we call them poor. We call them poor. People